Welcome to the painting coach. It's dark, it's dreary, it's a bit damp outside as well. Winter is definitely on the way. So let's see if we can brighten that a little bit. It's time for a touchdown with Blood Bowl Season 3. Now, I'm really excited about Blood Bowl. It's the last game I really played. I was going to say competitively there. It was a competitive league. I was rubbish at it. We've got two new teams. We've got the Bretonians and the Tomb Kings. So let's dive into the box and see what's in there. A huge thank you to Games Direction for sending this out to me for the preview content. So I really hope you enjoy it. If you have got any questions, let me know in the comments. Let's go. So if you've seen any of my unboxings, you know I like to go through the build instructions first. So let's see what we've got. We've got our Bretonian team. We've got our Tomb Kings team. Now we've got our decal sheets. We've also got 12 bases for the Bretonians and 14 bases. I'll just move that up slightly so you can see it for the Tomb Kings. That's because they have 7 players. Now, if you're not sure, if you've not seen a Blood Bowl sprue before, basically you get 2 identical sprues. There will be some build options on there. And we'll explore those as we go through the instructions and I build a few. So first up, we've got the Bretonians. So we've got a square alignment to start with, and you can see that there's 2 head options. So you're going to get 2 models with this pose, and then you've got a head option, so there's a bit of variation. This is the second one. So this has got an arm variation. So you can have 2 different arm poses, and it's got a head variation as well. So a bit more variety there. And the last one has just got a head option. So those are the Bretonian linemen. Next, we've got a knight thrower, and the knight thrower has 2 different arm poses. So again, you get 2 of these obviously in the box, so you can do them slightly. They're both going to have the ball, but they're going to have different arm positions, and they have different head options as well, so you get a bit of variation. Then you've got your knight catcher, which is going to be the same pose across both models, but you have different head options in terms of what the headdress can look like. And then lastly, you have your Grail Knight Blitzer, which again poses the same, slightly different arm variation. So you can have closed fist, open hand, and then you've got 2 different head options and 2 different headset options. So you've got a bit of variation across the Grail Knights, and then you've got a very nice colour photograph there. Lovely, lovely. As for the Tomb King, so you get some skeleton linemen. So you get 3 of these. Now you've got different head options across them, but generally the poses are all the same, but then different heads. So what I've done is I've built 3, and I built lineman 1 with 51, lineman 2 with 52, and lineman 3 with 53, and then you can change them up on the second lot. You've then got some Tomb Guardians. So you've got 2 Tomb Guardians on each sprue, so there's 4 total in the box. In terms of how you build them, the first one has head options. So you've got 2 different options for the head there. Just tilt that slightly so it's not as bright so you can see it. And then for the second Tomb Guardian, again, you've got the head options, but you've also got some arm options. So again, you've got closed fist or open hand. And the last 2 models in the Tomb Games, we've got a thrower. So the thrower hasn't got any options. Now, these, some wings. I did chuckle when I saw that, and I thought, they're generally fairly simple models. And then we've got 2 really small parts like that, so we'll see how they go on. And then you've got your Tomb King's Blitzer as well. So no variation on these parts, so these will be identical in the box. So that's the instructions. Let's have a look at the sprues. So we'll do the Bretonian sprue first. So you can see these sprues are absolutely packed full of models. You've got your Blood Bowl coin and your token, and then your turn marker, however which way you want to use them round. Then you've got all your different bits. So the one thing jumping out to me perhaps with these is that there's lots of gaps. So I wonder if there's going to be, now don't get me wrong, there could be some very clever gap design to make sure that they're covered by cloth or robe or anything like that. But generally, it's kind of striking how small they are. I always chuckle to myself when I get this, because there's just some stuff on there. But just they always seem smaller than I think they are. So that's the Bretonian sprue there. Again, I'm looking forward to, I'll build some of these so you can see exactly what they look like shortly. But that's the first one. Again, you get 2 of these. And here's your Tomb King sprue. So again, you get 2 of these in the box. And the first thing that I noticed about this sprue is it seems a lot more flexible than some of the normal plastics. I don't know if it's different plastic. Now, obviously, they are coloured. I know when you get some colour injection, it does sometimes change the properties of the plastic. I don't know if you remember the old 40k It was like Dark Imperium, maybe the magazine subscription, where everything was blue plastic. That was a lot. It felt more brittle. It felt shinier. It felt harder to clean up. But these feel flexible, so that's interesting. So again, you've got your coin, your token there, and everything. So that all looks good. Let's build some Tomb Kings and see how they all look. So let's start off with the Bretonians. So this is one of the linemen. You can see there, obviously the red plastic, slightly orangey, where I've used some to me extra thin cement just to smooth over some of the mold lines. But as I suspected, these are very well designed. If we look at the second one there, because there's hardly any gaps. And that's because they go together really nicely, but also all the flowing bits of fabric cover those gaps. So I think that's really, really nice. So that's the second, and this is the third lineman. I really like how they got the kind of the fleur-de-lis iconography there on the hands. It's not a weapon, it's defensive. And then you've got the thrower. So the first one, I went with the bent arm and the open helmet. So again, really, really nice. Got your catcher with all the arrogance you'd expect from a Bretonian knight. I went for the unicorn attachment for the top of the helmet. And lastly, we've got the Grail Knight Blitzer, which I've got to say I thought might have been a little bit bigger. Obviously, it looks very dynamic and things like that. Absolute pain to glue. But I'm looking forward to painting this one. And I went for that helmet attachment. There's that. Oh. So I've got a little bit of plastic stuck in there, which I just need to clean out. But yeah, that's the Grail Knight. And let's have a look at the Tomb Kings next. So we have our Tomb Kings. This is one of the linemen. And I was right. This plastic does feel more flexible. And I guess part of the reason for that is that it's going to be a bit more durable. So you look at these fingers, for example, they can be quite, could potentially be quite fragile. And the arms, because it's just skin and bones, not skin and bones, just bones, they are quite thin. So I think it's important that we've got that. And then if you look at, the next lineman again, and both of them, so they are nice looking kits. They should be fairly easy to paint. If you want to use contrast paint to paint these, it's going to be really nice and straightforward. You've then got your two Tomb Guardians. So these are significantly bigger and chunkier. I think they look great. So you've got different poses. So this one I did with both the clenched fists, although you can do one with open. And then you've got this one who's looking to, well, cause a little bit of damage, shall we say. Next up, you've got your thrower. And again, this is why having that slightly flexible plastic I think is useful, because it is, I don't know, it just feels like they could be fragile. These little wings, they actually the slot in quite nicely. I think they're completely pointless, but they kind of go against, because everything else is really simple and easy to build, and then you've got these two bits here which are just like, oh well, bit of flair. And then lastly, you have the Blitzer, which I'm not sure if I've slightly mispositioned or glued him to the base slightly off. It just feels a bit less dynamic than the pictures, but still a cool model. The helmets are great on these. So those are the models. Let's have a look at the other plastic that you get in the box. So first up, you've got your measuring marker for all your throwing, so you can snap that off and put it together. You got your helmet, and you've got your, I think you use this for determining things on the kickoff or the direction, though. This is for the direction the ball bounces, and that might be for the kickoff. I need to double check the rules. It's been about 5 years since I played, but you get that. And you get this new sprue as well, which has got some conditions, so you can lay these next to your models and you can cut them off, spray them into different colors. There's a recommended color guide. We've got 2 decal sheets. Now I did get excited when I saw there were decal sheets. I'm slightly disappointed it's black and white, particularly when it comes to Bretonia, because there's so many potential different bits of livery, but you get them all in black and you get them all in white. Now I know you can't see the white ones on the camera because the light's a bit too bright, but essentially everything you get here you've got in white underneath. And I think the positional markers to go on the bases, I think they're great, and that's the Tomb King ones as well. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what's there. You get a cool envelope with some dice. Let's open that. Oh, these are nice. These are nice. Now, for some reason, I just thought they'd be like, I don't know, red and white, but they're really nice. I quite like these. So there's your Bretonian dice, I'm going to say, because they're black and red, and then you've got your Tomb King dice as well. I'm pleasantly surprised by that, actually. Next up, it is the pitch. Now, I appreciate the light is a little bright and reflecting, and I'm also not going to be able to get all of this into shot, unfortunately. So let me just extract this. Whoops. The dugouts are also in there as well. So you've got your different sides, and you get 2 dugouts. And the pitch, we've got a grass pitch, the one side. I'm just going to... So I guess this would be a kind of your Bretonian pitch. I think they're doing a separate Bretonian pitch, which is kind of like a castle effect. So that's quite cool. And then just flipping it over, you've got more of a... Well, I thought this might be more of a Tomb King effect, but I guess it's not. It just feels like a dirty street, perhaps. But anyway, squares are clearly marked. I love the traditional grass pitch. So like I said, I'm not going to be able to fold out completely because I'm not going to have room to kind of show the whole thing on camera. But that's the pitch. So you get that with 2 sides. And then this is the next pack. So this will have the rule book in. Now, let's have a look what's in here. So we have the rule book. That's nice and chunky. And we have an official cheat sheet, which gives you the sequence of play. So I'm going to need to refresh myself. You get 1 each as well. So 1 for each player. So I need to refresh myself going through that. But there's your sequence. Now, if you're an experienced player, you'll know this. There's a few new rules, kickoff table event, and everything. So references everything in the rule book as well. So let's have a little look at that. So here is the rule book. Now, a couple of caveats. I can't go through all the rules in any sort of depth. I'm not allowed to do that as part of my NDA. But there are going to be little bits that I am going to be able to kind of stop at, and let's open it and work our way through. Now, I'm just conscious this may be a little shiny and glossy, so I might adjust the lights as we go, just so you can kind of have a read. So there's your contents page, and that's everything that you get in the box, obviously, and everything that you need to play. So let's have a little quick run through. Now, I do like the new artwork. I think it's worth saying at this point that some sad news in the Blood Bowl community that Pete Nifton, who was responsible for a lot of the original Blood Bowl art, has recently passed away. So obviously thoughts with his family. Let's carry on going through. So we've got obviously information about Blood Bowl. Again, the lighting to get with the glossy pages is a little bit awkward. So apologies for that if you can't quite see everything. I'll try and boost it in the post. So here's all the information about the history of Blood Bowl, and then how the different teams have become involved in it. Oh, Fran High Elves, still waiting for the High Elves. And there's the roll of honor of all the teams that have won the Blood Bowl Cup. Got some statistics, and then we've got the game essentials in terms of what we need. So this tells you how everything works. So that template is the random direction template for when we need it. And then the helmet is the throw-in template. So we are. Now, I know I'm not quite as amateur as I came across earlier on in the video. And here are your markers, where you've got the different color suggestions that if you wanted to use them, just to make it easier for people. So we're kind of into the rules and regulations pages here. So like I can't go into in-depth. I can't kind of describe everything in detail to you. It's interesting you've got the ref there. Now, the ref came in season 2 Blood Bowl, so it's interesting that they haven't got the refs in this season. Now, I have got season 2 somewhere, he says, looking around his room. So I think that I might have to dig that out just to get the refs out to it, because there's some pretty cool models. Got some general principles there about how to play, halves, how many turns, etc., turnovers, how that works, how to read your player profile cards. So you've got a grey and light blitzer there, which is nice. And then you've got different statuses for your players. I love these adverts. These adverts are all the way through the through the book. That's a pretty cool injury that's just been inflicted there. Um, and then you've got the game of how to play. So, we'll just very quickly flick through these pages here. Because one of the things I did want to have a little look at in a bit more detail was some of the new special rules. So we just got some actions. We've got armor and injuries there. Catching the ball. How you hand the ball off. Throwing your teammates. How to score a touchdown when a drive ends on a turnover. We've then got drafting a Blood Bowl team. Again, this is one of the areas I can't really go into too much depth on. In terms of what the team rosters look like. I'm sure they will find their way onto the internet, but this is just how you do it. And then you've got league play, got the rules on things like inducements, skills, star player points, etc. That's all on there. How to run a league. Again, popcorn. Love it. I just love it. It just doesn't take itself too seriously, which is what makes it so much more fun. You've then got matched play with your skill points, exhibition play. Then we've got skills and traits. So spend a little bit of time on the pages, just looking at how these work. So we've got an example there about some of the different types of skills, how to use the skills, and then the skill table. So when you're randomly selecting them, this is how you do it by rolling a die. You've got different traits, lists of skills and traits there as well. So basically what people have got. So if you want to pause and have a quick read of those, you can. I'm not going to go through them all in any depth, but I just think this is useful, particularly for those people who've been playing Blood Bowl for a while. I know there's a little bit of concern about the roster changes, and that, basically rosters being limited to what you get in a box, plus, a big guy, or if there's different booster packs for some, such as the ogres. I could get that, but I also think that a nice reset is good, and I think it just you're never going to be able to balance Blood Bowl because you have different tiers of teams. But personally, I just think it's nice that you can buy a box, you can play with everything that's in the box. There's the new punt skill. So again, you can just have a little look, and you can pause on them if you want. So we've got our inducements, which will be different depending on what you've got. And then the next bit is the teams. I can't go into in depth on the teams because that would be breaching my NDA, which I don't want to do. But suffice to say, when it comes to teams, the skills are slightly different on some of them, and also you've got, like I said, everything is limited to what's in the box. So that is the Blood Bowl rulebook. Let me just check. There's nothing at the end. No, we've got some. I think these are all the ones that have been shown on the website anyway, so that's fine. There's some really nice, cool artwork on there. Gnomes against Imperial nobles. There's some cool models in there, to be fair. And then you've got your index for everything on there as well. So that is the rule book, as much as I'm allowed to show you. So I hope that was useful to you. So there we have it. Those are the contents of Blood Bowl Season 3. Now, I really, really, really love Bretonians. They're my favourite old world army, close to High Elves. But we won't talk about High Elves and Blood Bowl just yet. But I'm really excited to paint up the Bretonians as well. I've got a really cool idea. Rather than doing as one team, I think maybe a Bretonian All-Stars with lots of different livery might be a good shout. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this preview was useful to you. Like I said, let me know down in the comments if you've got any questions. I will do my best to answer them if I can. Like I said, I can't show you all of the rules that come with the new edition, but I can certainly talk through some of the other bits there. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.